Got a good thing coming, and it's all I need. Everything I wanted is in front of me. Stuck it up in the dark, sun is shining over me. I got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good,
Good morning and very warm welcome to the Coaching Corner. Today we are talking about life is messy, and we're going to give a shout out to someone named Mez.
Mezzy, yeah, one of my closest friends, beautiful Mezzy, for this topic, because yesterday we were talking about it on Sunday and
She said life is messy. Yes, so the point of this is that so many people, including myself when I was younger, think that life needs to be perfect all the time and everything needs to just flow and all good things must come to you and everything must be positive and all must be perfect. And when something goes wrong, there's something wrong. And you just want to get away from that. Let's fix it as quickly as possible to get back to this life is perfect. But this is such an illusion, because the truth is life is messy. So share with us, Nance. We made a couple of notes, so we're going to refer to some notes today. We're going to discuss maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 points today. What are they?
okay, so we're going to discuss the 6 points, and the 6 points are, I'm going to read, so if you don't mind, I'm going to put on my glasses because life is messy. All right, embracing imperfections, that's the first thing.
Okay, let's just talk about that. We'll go through them as we go. So,
the value of resilience through growth.
oh, no, I thought we were going one by one.
Okay, we can do that. Let's go back then. Life is messy.
Only for the purpose to keep you watching, because if we give you all 6, and then they'll say, okay, I know the answer and I'm out of here.
Absolutely. All right, let's go with embracing imperfections.
Yeah.
So really, like we said, life is messy, and there is going to be, ups and downs. There's going to be flaws. There's going to be so many things that are going to come into, our lives, and we're not going to be prepared for them. So the best thing that we can do is just embrace that we do have flaws, each and every one of us. There's things that happen, things that come up, and if we start to have the courage actually to embrace that, we can really be authentic. We can just be who we are and say, life is the way it is and I'm okay with it. Instead of having that resistance that we quite often do. We have that resistance when something pops up.
Yes, I think this illusion of striving for perfection is just a flawed premise in itself. So not only is life not perfect, but we are also not going to be perfect 365 days a year. And I think it's when we try to be perfect and we're not, that we do what I've done for years, and I'm guilty of it, beat myself up, be hard on ourselves. So not only is life not perfect, but we are also not perfect. And it's quite interesting that this is the first point, because Nancy's actually reading a book of Brené Brown called The Gifts of Imperfection. And it doesn't matter what the book's about. You don't even have to get into the book. It's just, listen to that title. It says The Gifts of Imperfection, because there are gifts in acknowledging that we and life are not perfect, and there are really some gifts in that.
Absolutely. It's a great book at the moment, so I'm very impressed with what I'm learning. Anyway, moving on. Cultivate resilience. Now, this is a topic that I would say that everyone sort of says, resilience. What is resilience? Like, how do you get resilient? How do we get resilient? And I think it's just preparing yourself and knowing that you are going to go through perhaps these downfalls or, occasions where you're not going to feel 100%, and to learn and grow from them. That's the most important thing I could say, is take the learning and grow from it. And then that's resilience. That's building your resilience vibe, your resilience energy is taking the learnings and growing from them. So that's how we cultivate resilience.
Yeah. I was going to say something about resilience. Oh, yes, it's this. Also, just to come to the awareness, Nance, that in life, we do overcome. So sometimes when my life is in a difficult place and I'm not too sure what to do, I just remind myself that every time I've had a difficult experience in my past, I have overcome it. So sometimes we think, how am I ever going to get through this? It's so difficult, it's so bad. But what you just said, if there's 3 steps, John Maxwell's got 5, but we want to make it really simple. There's 3 steps. It's hurt, learn from it, and through the learning, if you apply that learning, you grow. And growth means,
Change.
again,
Change. We're not here to stay stagnant, people. We're here to grow, and that's the only thing that you should be doing is growing.
So I think if you think that growth is change, and every human being to some degree or another, everyone's different, has a resistance to change. So Louise Hay's amazing affirmation, I'm willing to change. If we just keep affirming that like 100 times a day, I'm willing to change, so it becomes part of you that you just are so willing to change, your life is better. Because when it says cultivate resilience, because life is messy, it's that we're willing to change. Life is very messy and very difficult when we're not willing to change.
And can I say that it's good that life is difficult? I know you're going to hear people out there saying, really? Are you sure? Do you know what you're talking about? Yes. I think my whole life has been difficult. I don't remember a time, maybe when I was younger, but I've come from I have a Lebanese background. I wasn't born here. I was born in Lebanon. And it was difficult for my parents there. We came out in the Civil War and growing up in a country where I didn't know the language. So many things, life was difficult. But boy, have I changed, learned, evolved, embraced, grown, dug my feet in and really decided that it's okay. It's okay to have a difficult life as long as you're not wallowing in the pits, feeling like a victim instead of a victor, and embracing those learnings. It's a good thing. Like Brené says, they're the gifts that are given to you out of such the depths of the pit hole of whatever you're going through. There's always, like they say, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah.
And your favourite by James Allen.
Napoleon Hill.
Oh, it's Napoleon Hill.
It's Napoleon Hill. It says, within every temporary defeat, lies the seed of an equivalent or greater advantage.
Yeah.
So tough times, have you ever thought of it this way? If we don't have tough times, we have no need to come to want to be closer to God. So one of the things that come out of adversity in life is the opportunity every time for spiritual growth. If our life is so easygoing, do we ever need anybody or anything? It's when we are down, so down. They say when life gets you down on your knees, now you're in the correct posture to pray.
Correct. I like that.
So I'm all about, years ago, I have to tell you this, when I was really young, I was in high school, but the beginning of high school, I was 12 or 13, somewhere there. And I don't know where I heard this, but I heard these words: suffering is an opportunity for the soul to grow. And when I learned that, I just accepted it as a truth. It is a truth. I went backpacking at 18, and I remember when I was on a kibbutz in Israel, and I got this job of picking lemons. And that might sound fun for some people, but it's not. You start at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:30, and you're picking in thorn trees. The whole day's in thorn trees. You can wear long sleeve shirts and whatever you want, but you will come out full of scratches, and lemons are really small, and the bins to fill are really big. And you only have to get a quarter bin of lemons. But boy, when you take that whole bag and you roll it in, they're like just scatter, and there's like, no lemons. Next bag, scatter, no lemons. This goes on and on. You think like, am I ever going to even cover the bottom of my bin? But you do eventually get there. And the only thing that got me through, because I was frustrated, I wanted to get, I want to see accomplishment. I'm very impatient. And I kept saying to myself, suffering is an opportunity for the soul to grow. I had no idea what growth I was heading for. I didn't even care. But it's the thing that pulled me through. And now today, it is so true. It cultivates resilience. Life is messy, and it's messy to develop you and grow you as a person. Now, number 3 is one of my favorites.
Go on then.
You tell us.
Practicing self-compassion. And I think this is really hard and difficult for many people. I know when we hold the 2-day Heal Your Life, Louise Hay, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop, that is the last thing on people's mind. They're the hardest with themselves. They're the last to forgive themselves. We don't practice self-compassion.
Yeah.
We often beat ourselves up, and it's usually the inner dialogue, that what's going on in our minds that makes us feel like we need to be punished even more. And I recently was talking to one of our good friends overseas, which we've just been back from America, and I asked her, have you finished punishing yourself yet? And that really resonated with her. She kind of said, no. And that is lack of self-compassion.
Yeah, so you're quite right, Nance. In simple terms, when people talk about self-compassion, it's self-talk. Self-compassion is self-talk. And I'm reading a fabulous book at the moment about manifesting, and I just love the topic. And it's such a different book because it's all about the foundation of manifesting is actually self-love. And we've said this before, but now someone's written an old book on it. It's like, oh, we were right all along. Here's the confirmation. But the thing about self-compassion as an exercise, which you're welcome to do, is find an area of your life that's not going so well right now. Whatever area. It could be your health, could be your relationship, could be your money, your career, whatever it may be. It's not going so well. And just be honest and write how you talk to yourself, the narrative in your head, when you're hard on yourself. And then you write it out. And then it says, now, with all the self-compassion in the world, as if it's your best friend or a 4-year-old version of you, a child, you'd never speak that way to a little 4-year-old child, nor your best friend. So now, on the same topic of the same thing, you need to change the dialogue and have compassion for yourself and write out a different narrative. And I'm telling you, that for me was so revealing. I am, unfortunately, not to brag about it because it's the wrong thing to brag about, but I've been really hard on myself my whole life. My expectations are always higher than wherever I'm landing. So it's like, oh, it could be better. Oh, it could be. And where does it come from? We're not going to get into that. That's a whole show for another day.
That's a heal your life moment.
That's a heal life moment right there. But it does come from our growing up and our perception of what love is. And if you think you need to perform because if you do so well, and people say, oh, well done, and they'll give you hugs and kisses. As a tiny little 2-year-old, you think, well, this is love. So we develop these things. But when I changed my narrative to self-compassion and reminded myself, look how far you've come. Look how well you've done. You're actually in a great position right now. And one of the most beautiful things was this, it's like a quote. People use it as a quote now. They say, the thing I'm complaining about right now is the very thing my younger self prayed for. I've got that. If I think about, I remember I'm going back to the year, I think it was 2013, 14. I was still working in corporate, mouse in a wheel, and I heard Scott Fay from the John Maxwell team saying, I'm doing this video right here from my home in Michigan, and there's a fire, and it's freezing outside, it's been snowing, and there's a beautiful big bonfire behind, and this is my life. And he said, this is freedom. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, and with who I want. And he said, that is the definition of success. And I was like, I don't have any of that. That became my primary goal. And Nancy and I have just come back from a wonderful, wonderful 3 weeks in the USA. And we did some downtime, some fun time, and some work. And the work's amazing. And we do what we want, when we want, how we want, and with who we want. And we have to just keep reminding ourselves that the things that you complain about today are actually the things that our younger selves prayed for.
Absolutely. How about number 4?
You go.
All right. I guess recognizing human vulnerability. Now, in our previous shows, we spoke about AI. I think we've spoken about social media quite a bit, gaming, all those sort of things. That is the perfect world, right? That is social media. Every time you open up your phone and you see
perfect photos
or someone posing or a celebrity and you just have this impression that their life is just perfect. Well, I've got news for you. What you see is not what actually is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, as your friend yesterday, Maria, said, you can't see what's behind a photo.
Absolutely. So we need to embrace all of that. We're not perfect, and I guess life is messy. So being able to say that I have to be vulnerable that's my lead in to be authentic.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the most important thing. Being able to say, my life isn't perfect, what's happening today. I'm not feeling great. Life isn't so great today, and that's okay. As long as you don't unpack and stay there. That's really important. You don't unpack and stay there. You have an opportunity. You know, I love it when John Maxwell talks about yesterday ended last night. And he says, I give you 24 hours to celebrate a great win. It could be anything in your life, and 24 hours to mourn something that
It's gone wrong.
But after that, you must pick yourself up. You've got to pick yourself up and not stay there. And I think that's the really most important thing. There are times where you're going to feel like I can't get out of bed, and that's okay, but just don't unpack your bags and stay there.
Perfect. And was it you that told me that they've now proven, you know, there's a vibration, the highest vibration they used to say was love, and there's a emotional scale. And they said love was the highest one. They've actually proven now that authenticity
Yes,
is the highest vibration.
100%. It is. And you can see why when you're authentic, when you're your true self, when you love and approve of yourself exactly as you are, you emanate this energy about you.
Yes.
That is
Magnetic.
Yes, absolutely. Those are the words, magnetic.
And also people can trust you if you are authentic. I mean, Brené Brown's work, she says that authenticity is the first quality we look for in someone else, but the last one I want you to see in me.
Yeah.
So we actually, when we meet new people, we want to see their authenticity. And if we don't, we don't want to trust them or be close to them or be friends with them. But we don't want to be authentic first. So when you love yourself and you grow through life and adversity and heal, you can take more and more of these personas, which are stage masks, off and come to your true self. So recognizing human vulnerability. Life is messy, and you're quite right, Nance. When life's falling apart and things aren't perfect, the best thing you can do is to own it and say, I'm not in a good place right now. Things are just falling apart around me. I'm in a really bad place. Because people can then trust you. I used to hide all of that when I was a young kid. I used to hide everything. I used to hide my emotions. I used to hide bad days. I used to hide my sadness. I used to hide if my parents were getting divorced. I hid everything. My very best friend in South Africa, Yvette, found out that my parents were divorced and I was leaving for Cape Town literally the week before I left. And that was like the biggest pain for her. Like, I'm your best friend, but you couldn't even tell me. And my parents were divorced months before. So that's me as a kid. So for me, I can see this today. Life is messy, but to own your messiness and not try to hide it. I don't know why I hid it. I don't know what the reason was. I look back now and I think, well, why did you do that? I'm not sure. Maybe I learned from modeling. You know, kids learn from what they see.
Yeah.
That before people come, let's fix up the house. You know, before this happens, if you're going to pick up a person you've never picked up before, clean out the car, take it, you know, wash the car. So all is like, everything must look perfect. People are coming over, tidy the lounge, put your things away. Maybe it was that. I don't know if I learned it from that. I got no idea. Yeah. But as I sit here now, I can tell you, I'm not perfect. My life isn't perfect, but it's okay. I'm learning and I'm growing. And today I'm actually very happy.
And it's good in the fact that with all this comes communication. You said that you didn't speak about it. You didn't show your emotions. We have a lot of people that do that these days. They avoid that feeling because all it is the feeling that you want to pack it away. And if I don't feel it and I'll just pretend that everything's okay, then everyone thinks I'm living a great life. But all it is actually betrayal.
Correct. Betrayal of yourself. When we don't want to show people what's going on with our true lives, it's because our validation comes from the outside. Yeah. But when you love yourself, you validate yourself and you love yourself. You don't need anybody else's validation, and that's when you can become authentic. It's like, if you don't like me, that's fine. That's all right. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't like everybody. Yeah. So not everyone's going to like me. That's okay. But when you don't love yourself, I need your validation and I'm keep on pretending and playing different roles just to be liked 24/7. That is the furthest you are from your true self. And that's self-betrayal.
And I just want to, I know there's a lot of stuff going on about self-love at the moment. I am aware of what's going on social media and what we see. And I just want to nip this in the bud. Please listen to me quite carefully. I'm going to be really candid. Self-love isn't vanity. Self-love doesn't mean I'm putting you before me. Self-love isn't being
You've been putting me before you.
Sorry, there you go. Yes, whatever she said.
Self-love isn't putting me before you. It isn't arrogance. It isn't vanity. Carry on.
Yes, and it definitely isn't I'm better than you and all the negative things. Self-love isn't that at all. Self-love is honoring and respecting yourself, having boundaries, learning to speak your truth. Say what's on your mind in a nice way. I'm not telling you that you must be rude. Self-love is coming back to you internally, embracing who you are, being authentic, having the courage to walk away from situations that are hurting you. That is self-love.
Change the word to self-care, maybe.
Yes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Self-love, self-care, whatever works for you. But what I'm saying is this new age thing now that I'm hearing that self-love is evil or self-love is...
Okay, sorry, I just must interrupt about evil. In the Bible, it says, love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yeah.
So the way that you love your neighbor is told to you. You've got to love your neighbor as thyself. So it's even there. We have to love ourselves first and foremost. The relationship we have with ourselves determines every other relationship we have with every other human being.
Correct. So I just want to clarify that. Can we just get off the bus of selfishness and I'm not putting other people's needs before my own?
It's not that at all.
100%. I want to clarify this because there's too many people out there that are using God as the weapon.
And as a way to take us away from God. If I keep telling you that self-love is evil, I actually take you away. This is a divine creation. I have to really love and honor the divine creation that I am. God made me. And this, they call the temple of the highest living God. If you think of your body as that, you will take care of this body.
100%.
You will not abuse the body.
And that's what self-love is. That's exactly what you said, Jay, is self-love. I will take care of my body, and that means mind, body, and soul.
Spirit.
Yeah, there's no other way. So if you eat the right foods, if you feed your mind the right things, and
keep the right company.
Yes, and spiritually grow here and connect here, then that's self-love.
Correct. Yeah.
So sorry, I know maybe went on a bit of a tangent.
I just want to say this. Even in the Bible, repeatedly it says God is love. If you ever switch the word love and God around, they're exactly the same thing. So if you said self-God, I know I'm not saying that I'm God, but I'm created by God and I'm a piece, I'm a physical extension of the whole of creation, the whole of God or source energy. I'm a physical extension of this one universal source energy, which we call God. Until I recognize myself as a piece of that whole, that's uni, is uno in Italian, means one. Universe is we see ourselves as one. Yeah. We are all one. Me and every human being, if I see ourselves as one, I can't hurt you. That's what love is. Love is when I can't hurt anyone else because I see myself as part of the whole. The minute we have separateness and I see you as separate to me, you've lost connection with your spiritual self, your own self, and God. So...
hence the reason why we have so many wars. You just explained it in a nutshell. None of them love themselves enough, and that's why they're hurting others. And this is a really big topic that no one is willing to go there. We are. I'm happy. Give me a mic and I'm happy to talk to these people about.
Honey, you got a mic.
Because really that's all it is.
Yes.
If they practice self-love, we wouldn't have war.
Yes.
So, all right, let's get on to the next one.
All right.
Number 5, is that correct?
Yeah, we're still talking about life is messy. No, we're not. We had number 5. Yes.
Yeah, life is messy. The topic, life is messy.
Number 5.
So expect the unexpected.
Okay, this is simple.
I think it's.
There's going to be unexpected things that are going to happen to you. Just know that. Expect that. Expect the unexpected, and be ready for the unexpected. And when it comes, you're not going to be so shocked and knocked down because yeah, life does have unexpected things. A car accident is unexpected. These things happen. How you deal with a car accident is very revealing. I'm not talking about a major one. Let's talk about a simple one, a bumper bashing. Paint and metal damaged. Paint and metal. Just some paint, just some metal. You fine, the other person's fine. How a person reacts to that situation is so revealing. When a person is not in a good place or they're so not present, they're so on autopilot, they just fly off the handle when there's an accident. They get angry immediately. They get angry with the other driver. They get angry with everything. If you're present and you expect the unexpected, you come with awareness, self-awareness. Boom, paint and metal damaged.
Yeah.
Self-awareness. Okay, it's happened. No matter how I behave, it's not going to change it. You can't press undo on life. It's happened. So get out the car, be polite to the other driver, regardless of who did it. It's an accident. The person didn't bump you on purpose. You got to understand. So how we come is awareness, presence, and insight. Insight as to what's going on in the situation and what's going on inside you.
Well, generally those that do crack the whip when they get out of the car and scream and shout and carry on have really got some stuff going on with them. And it just takes one thing. It's
Correct.
like,
It's the reason for having a blowout.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what
So they actually liked the accident without it saying. I don't know that they liked it, but there's an opportunity there to blow the steam.
Yeah. And what's really important is your emotions will sit and wait until you're ready to unpack them.
Say that again is so good.
Your emotions will sit and wait until you're ready to unpack them. So you can avoid, you can pretend, you can go about and numb yourself with whatever it is. It could be gaming, work, anything. But they will wait and they will sit. Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 60, 70, 50, whatever. And when you're ready to face them, they'll say, welcome.
Yeah.
I've waited for you.
Yeah. This is why Love Yourself, Heal Your Life is just the most amazing program, because we get to once and for all heal the wounds, and you actually survive. Like, people think, I'm going to deal with my emotional history. I'm never going to make. Everyone walks out on day 2 happier, in love with life, honoring themselves, loving themselves, having love for everybody. Like, people love each other. Out at the end of that course, more than any other course I've ever seen in my life, there's so much love, because you can only love thy neighbor as much as you love yourself. And that's what we do in that course. So everyone does survive. All right, number 6. What's number 6 on Life is Messy?
Learn and adapt. Now, if there's anything that we could say out of coming back from spending 3 glorious days with John Maxwell, the world's #1 leadership expert and author, it would be this, that you must, in order to have a better life, in order to be successful, there's only one thing you got to do.
You tell me.
You have to take your learnings and unpack them and grow. So
You must take your learnings and apply them.
yeah, so if you, every day you must do something to get you closer to growing and learning. I don't know, you read a book about personal development, take a course, write some notes, connect with
Speak
God.
with a mentor, have a coach.
Yeah, any of those things. But you must grow.
Daily.
And growth equals
Change.
correct. And when we're changing, we're evolving. And when we're evolving, we're becoming better. And when we're becoming better for everybody around us. Everybody benefits. And he taught us one thing that, really resonated. I was listening to him this morning. Adding value, being a servant. And I know it sounds terrible. I know it's an old biblical term. But having a heart of servanthood.
That's right.
How can I serve you today? What can I do for you today? How can I make your life a little bit better? And it could be something as making a cup of tea for your partner.
Yeah. That heart of servanthood, John Maxwell, in his best-selling book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, law number 5 is called the law of addition. And he says, for us to add value to someone, you've got to get out your comfort zone. We are all selfish, naturally selfish. You've got to get out your comfort zone with intention and go out there and add value to someone. And he said, you are only one of 2 people. If you're not out of your comfort zone, intentionally adding value, you are by default a subtractor. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, no one has an excuse. No one says, oh, it's just my personality. She's such a giving person. He's such a giving person. No, it's not the personality. It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. So having a heart of servanthood, the greatest servant leader of all time was who, Nancy?
Jesus.
And what did he do?
And he washed feet. That's what he did.
He washed his disciples' feet. Here he is as the leader, saying, follow me. That means I'm the leader. Follow me. And then on the night of the Last Supper, he gets a bowl of water and a towel, and he washes his disciples' feet. And they're all saying, no, 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 no. Master, Lord, Rabbi, whatever, I'll wash your feet. And he said, the highest of you is the servant of all.
Yeah. And he also said how like, in order for him, if they don't allow him to wash his feet, then how can they understand and know what he's doing? So he's leading, he's showing, he's directing the way, so they too can wash feet. Now that's just an analogy, right? I mean, you can use it for anything, but literally the leader
is the servant of all.
Thank you.
That the biggest problem in the world today is the leadership around the world in governments. Governments are the worst example of leadership today. Even John Maxwell says that governments around the world today, in all history, are the worst that they've ever been. So when people hear the word leader, they think of these corrupt politicians and I don't know what else, oppressing the people. But if you think about the role of a person who's got such a responsibility, the leader, especially leader of a country, the only reason he's in that position is to serve the people. If he's not serving the people, he may as well get down from his chair and go wander in the bushes because he's of no value. If you want to be right at the top with all that power and all that responsibility to serve yourself, that's corruption. That's evil.
Yeah.
And that's the antithesis of love.
Yeah.
So love is the servant.
I know we've gone off topic, but really John Maxwell is all about growth equals change. And that's what we're trying to say in the last point. Learn, adapt. And I would even go one step further, teach. Be able to teach your children or somebody else. That, for me, is wonderful leadership. If you can learn, adapt, and talk about it and teach somebody, you've grown. That's growth.
Yeah. And that's also adding value to people. Everything that's added value to you, go and share it and teach it to someone else. Now, we almost at the end of our show, we're just going to briefly say this. The title of today's show is Life is Messy. And as we were talking yesterday with Mez, who said Life is Messy and gave us the show title, I said, hey, I'll never forget when I was 16 years old, I read A Road Less Traveled for the very first time by Dr. Scott Peck. And when I opened the book, by the way, the first 3 words on the first page of the first chapter is life is difficult. And I was such a Pollyanna in those days. I had this illusion that life has to be so wonderful and happy. I was a happy kid. I'm still a happy adult, but I was really a happy, positive person my whole life. And I always thought life needs to be this perfect, harmonious road. And I thought Dr. Scott Peck was wrong. When I read that, I thought, life is difficult. That's a limiting belief. That's what I really thought. I thought, this guy's got a limiting belief. If I don't believe that, my life will be easy.
Yeah.
And then I met John Maxwell. It took me years and decades and years. And John Maxwell said, once you just learn from Dr. Scott Peck and just accept that life is messy, once you accept it,
you're halfway there.
You're not unhappy when things go wrong because the unexpected does come. You're not unhappy. You'll be able to deal with anything. You'll be more resilient, all the things that we've actually spoken about. We will embrace all the imperfections of life. We will cultivate more resilience.
Yep.
We will practice more self-compassion because, we're not perfect and life isn't perfect and that's okay and we love ourselves still.
Yeah.
We recognize that we're vulnerable as human beings and vulnerability means this is the raw me and I'm still growing and I've still got much to learn and I'm being honest about it. And expect the unexpected. Well, you will if you know that life is difficult and things are going to sometimes bump you up the back of the head.
Absolutely.
And the last point, what we need to do in circumstances like that is to learn from them, adapt, and as you said, Nance, grow. Yeah. Grow and change. That's the goal.
And I think I guess the way the world's turning with the kids have got access to all these things that they see on TV or gaming or social media or whatever it may be, and AI, of course. We are giving them a picture-perfect view of what they could live on this side of, behind the screen, where I think I said it a few shows back, this is our world, this is what we live in, and it's not great, it's not perfect,
but it's wonderful.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
It's what you make it.
Right, so we have to adapt, we have to learn, we have to embrace, we have to stop avoidance, we have to communicate, we have to have courage, we have to be vulnerable, and we have to be authentic.
Absolutely.
All those things we must teach our kids. That's what I'm trying to get, is if you do sit your child down from a young age and say, life is difficult, they will not get surprised when life is difficult.
Correct. And they'll be more resilient overall.
Right.
And just about avoidance, this is the last point, then we are going to wrap up. In Dr. Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled, I just want to read something. He says, avoidance leads to mental illness. The fundamental basis of mental illness is the avoidance of problems and the associated emotional suffering. If you're trying to avoid negative emotion, you are going to get not only mentally ill, you're going to get physically ill. Mm-hmm. And the 2-day workshop by Louise had that we train, Nancy and I, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. Mm-hmm. People have to come to this course in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever it may be, because their whole life they avoided their negative emotions. Mm-hmm. So please understand, when you're feeling negative emotion, the best thing you can do is put your phone aside, avoid all distraction, do not watch TV or something funny to make you laugh or get with your friends that you're all distracted, or do something to distract you. The best thing you can do is sit presently and feel the emotions. And the minute you do that, they dissipate. There's a whole book written on this.
Yeah.
It's called Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. The minute you sit and feel negative emotions, they dissipate. So mental illness comes from avoidance of emotion. Avoidance of problems.
And like I said, it'll wait. Emotions wait.
100% they wait.
And like we were
that's what a nervous breakdown means.
Correct. Or, that midlife crisis or whatever it may be. We've been really blessed to visit many places around the world and teach what we teach. And in our last class in Atlanta, the age group was much higher than what we typically see, right? I noticed that the age group was a lot higher. And men and women in their late 70s crying because they've never, ever expressed that emotion. They've avoided it all their life.
Yeah, there was a 70-year-old man there.
Plus, 75, 70,
yeah, who cried like a baby because he watched someone else unpack their sadness with their own brother, and he had never expressed, and he had to cry bucket loads of tears because he held it in his whole life.
Yeah. So what we're saying is, in order to navigate through life's messiness, I should say, we really need to open ourselves up to have the courage to be vulnerable and authentic, and discover that, yep, I'm not feeling great today. It's okay. Okay. Don't stay there, but acknowledge that it's okay.
Yeah. So on a very last note, the whole purpose of life, the whole process of life is about overcoming your problems, solving your problems, and through that journey is your spiritual evolution. And the whole purpose for being here on earth through this journey is to grow spiritually. And we cannot grow spiritually without problems to challenge us, hurt us, learn from them, and then grow, change, and become better. So that's it from us on the Coaching Corner. I just want to remind you, we've got these beautiful mugs that Nancy made, and
with no coffee in them.
Yeah, I've got a bit of coffee here.
I don't have any coffee.
So you want to wrap up?
Shame for me. Okay, until next time, thank you for watching us on the Coaching Corner. We'll be back next week, and we've got a great show. We're going to talk about what we learned with the 4 days at the IMC with John Maxwell himself.
What's the IMC? International Maxwell Convention. The certification.
I was going to say conference.
Well, the C's anything. Can be certification, conference, and convention.
Yeah, we've got some great lessons, and we want to add value to you, and we want to pour into you and give you everything that we learned, because we believe that's the heart of servanthood.
Yeah. So have a wonderful week ahead, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Got a good thing coming, and it's all I